Hey, everybody. Hope that you are doing well for our open forum segment. All right. Just fire away with your questions and we will do it. You know what's nice? That the NFL season is going to begin pretty soon. And we're talking about training camps. And isn't it interesting that the National Football League had to basically assign Hard Knocks, of course, the series every year on HBO, to a team because none of the teams that were eligible wanted to step forward. How about that? So they gave it to the Jets. Now, what's interesting about that, Robert Saleh, the head coach of the Jets, said that he wanted no part of that. All right, before they were assigned Hard Knocks, and their camp opens on the 17th. So before you know it, we're going to be getting to NFL training camps. And I was wondering, because everyone likes to debate this, if we just agree that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the National Football League, who's the second best quarterback in the NFL? All right, again, if you think it's Mahomes, okay, and I think most people would agree with that. Who's the second best quarterback today in the National Football League? All right. Good to have you here. Hope you're doing well. Let's get to some questions. Well, hello. Hello to you. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Yes, I know that Harry Giles and Isaiah Thomas had private workouts in Vegas. I don't know. Time will tell. I really hope so. I really do, but time will tell. I think for Isaiah, it's more of a health situation than anything else. He's had a couple of opportunities, but he has not been able to make it work. With Harry Giles, it's been a long road back, and we'll just have to wait and see. See, to me, I don't think it is Josh Allen. Josh Allen was not very good last year. I mean, if I'm going by what I saw last season, Josh Allen to me is not number two. Not if I go by what I saw last season. Josh Allen did not have a good year. Josh Allen made a lot of mistakes that hurt the Buffalo Bills last year. So, based on what I saw last season, I can't put Josh Allen at number two. I just can't. I mean, I'd put Joe Burrow ahead of him right now based on what I saw from last year. I mean, Jalen Hurts had a better year than Josh Allen. I thought Jalen Hurts was outstanding last year. So, we'll see. All right. No, they would not have. They would have maybe had a championship if Chris had not come back on that March 2nd game. All right. Chris was not hurt when they lost to the Lakers in 2002. Chris was hurt when they lost to the Mavericks 2 years later. All right. Or a year later. And when he came back in March, the Kings had the best record in the NBA and were rolling. I actually believe the Kings may have won a championship that year had Chris not come back instead of coming back in March. So, no. When the Kings lost to the Lakers in 2002 in the Western Conference Finals, Chris wasn't hurt. He was fine. And they lost with Chris. So, absolutely not. I actually thought they were better too, to be honest with you. I thought they were too. It was, I think, the 2003, 2004 season, correct? So, yes, that's exactly right. They were better that year, in my opinion. You know why they were better? Because they had overcome their failure of 2002, and they had now been there. They had experienced everything you could experience. And without Chris, it was a very harmonious team. They had made the trade to acquire Brad Miller. Brad and Vladdy together were playing great. Not good, great. Peja, I mean, everyone else, they were They were the real deal. They had a really good team. Well, again, they had the best record in the NBA going into March. Think about that. You know? Huh. I can't even put Dak Prescott. I don't even have him in my top 15 quarterbacks in the NFL, let alone second. I know you're joking, but I don't have Dak Prescott. I mean, you might have him in the top 15. He's definitely not in the top 10. Not in my opinion. You're never winning with Dak Prescott as your quarterback. Not happening. But it's an interesting conversation, you know? I mean, it really is. You know? It really is. So we'll see, you know? We'll see. I don't watch a lot of soccer, so I'm the wrong person to ask. All right? I'm the wrong person to ask. They missed 14 free throws. I would agree with you. They did. They did choke. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's exactly what happened. You're in game 7 of the NBA Western Conference Finals, and you're at home and you miss 14 free throws. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. I don't know how else to say it. They did. The moment was too big for them. That's what happened. The moment was too big for them in game 7. Great question. What do I think is Oklahoma City's ceiling? Well, I will say this. If they draft well in the next 2 to 3 seasons, I think they're going to be a championship caliber team. That's how good I think they're going to be. All right. I don't watch Undisputed, and I have little to zero respect for Richard Sherman. So I didn't watch it when Shannon Sharp was on with Skip, and I sure as hell won't be watching it if it's Richard Sherman. It's a joke. Seriously. Come on. Come on now. But, you know, I mean, and I asked this knowing what the answer is from most people. And I also asked this question knowing full well what this business is all about. And I understand the purpose of this business in many instances is to get people to watch and ratings and everything else. But how does anyone seriously watch Skip Bayless? Just asking, you know? Yeah, I do look like I'm wearing a crown, you know? Because I'm a king, baby. Nice, huh? I can move this way, that way. As long as we don't see the cat up on that chandelier, everything is good, you know? To me, it's pretty simple. If Brock Purdy is healthy, he's your starting quarterback, you know? It's the way they are. I disagree with you. They didn't choke in game 4. I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, they had won game 3 in LA. Very difficult to win playoff games on the road. And they lost game 4. They got screwed on a shot that counted at the end of the half after the buzzer for 3, which obviously in retrospect ended up being a gigantic game. I mean, they actually outplayed the Lakers in game 4, but I don't think they choked. When you miss 14 free throws on your home floor in a deciding game, yeah. Doug, the moment was too big for Doug. The moment was too big for him. I even talked to him about it on the air. All right? It's the way it is. You know, doesn't really do much to go back and relive that from over 20 years ago. It is what it is. You know, it is what it is. All right. Hey, glad that you were with us here, and want to tell you that this weekend, don't forget about the brunch at Bennett's, Roseville, Sacramento, and they are soon going to be at the Blue Oaks Town Center in Rockland. Prime Seafood and Steaks at Bennett's. Go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com to check out their menu and everything else. Bennett's Prime Seafood and Steaks. And that location in Rockland is awesome. I was out there last month, and I'm telling you, it's going to be great. That's Bennett's Restaurants. All right, glad to have you here. Hope that you are doing well. Love the questions. It's a great question. I actually think Roger Craig should be in the Hall of Fame. You know, I don't think George Seifert's a Hall of Famer, but I mean, you could make the argument, but I think Roger Craig should have already been in the Hall of Fame. I mean, if Terrell Davis is in the Hall of Fame, Roger Craig should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that, you know? No question. No, I do not think his career would have been different. I do not. All right. Well, you'll love Bennett's. It's great. I mean, it really is outstanding, you know? In all fairness to Kyle Shanahan, it's not his fault what happened last year, losing to the Eagles when he ran out of quarterbacks. And if you really want to be objective about this, Shanahan may have done his best coaching job of his career last year, starting with Lance, then going to Garoppolo, then to Purdy. I mean, did a great job. So it's a good question, but I thought he did a brilliant job last year, I have not been to the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown or the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. I have not. I got Joe Burrow number 2 also. I'd take Joe Burrow second. I really would. I would take him second, All right, again, love the questions. Keep them coming right here on If You Don't Like That. Also, if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Only takes a second. Also, hit the thumbs up, the like button. And don't forget to follow everything that I put out on my website, ifyoudon'tlikethat.com or grantnapier.com. And in the fall, right before basketball season, we're going to have some new merch at the store on my website. We're going to be doing it a little bit differently for this round. I am going to pay more to just have direct shipping right from the site instead of Ryan and I handling all of that, particularly Ryan. So when you order merch from the store on my website, won't be any nonsense, no delays. We had a couple of issues with some orders that were very puzzling to us, and this will just take all of that out. So that will be, there'll be new merch coming up on my website this fall. And if you want to drop me an email, please do. I've received a couple. Always enjoy hearing what you have to say. You can email me at gnapier@gmail.com. All right. We've got there's a lot of truth to that. I know. A lot of truth to that, right? Very difficult to pick this early without knowing any injuries. But, I mean, if you're holding me to it, I think Philadelphia is the best team in the NFC again. And in the AFC, I'm going to go with Cincinnati. I know people say, well, gee, what about Kansas City? At some point, I got to go with a different team. I know Cincinnati was in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. But right now, those would be my picks. I have not seen the final ratings for the All-Star game. Would not surprise me. Think about this. No Aaron Judge, no Mike Trout. Those are 2 big draws to the game. You turn on the game, the uniforms just are enough to make you turn the game off. It's baseball. Baseball has lost a lot of its pizzazz. It really has. It really has. But I didn't look at the final numbers. You know, I did not look at the final numbers. You know, I'm going to answer this question this way. You have no idea, zero, what goes on behind the scenes with the Sacramento Kings. Zero. So first of all, your question is based on your assumption without you knowing anything. And I'm not saying that to be mean or condescending. I'm just telling you the truth. All right. You have no idea. No idea. I don't think the Raiders are going to be very good. I'll tell you that. You know, I really don't. Makes zero sense for who? For who? You know, I'm not a fan of the tournament. I think it's just another example of the NBA panicking because their product is disintegrating slowly but surely because of the way the game is played and other factors. And they are trying to compete somehow, some way with the National Football League in a period of time where NFL is king, will always be king, and the NBA is just trying to get some piece of that pie. I don't see it happening. You know, I don't see it happening. Well, it depends. Would I pay him a long-term contract? No, I would not. I would never pay a running back big-time money, especially when you have Dalvin Cook available. I wouldn't take Ezekiel Elliott. But you know, Fournette's available. But you know, you got Dalvin Cook available. So you know, the running back position has been devalued. Although, with that said, Barkley was tremendous last year for the Giants. You know, so I mean, there's no question that this is clearly all about the National Football League. That's what this is about. Just the way it is. You know, the NBA is trying to make some noise during football season. That's what this is all about. I mean, if that weren't true, why are you having it in November and December? Why not have it in March? Why not have it in January, February? Of course, January would be in the middle of the playoffs, but you understand what I'm saying. So, you know, we'll see. Did I have a famous hike? Well, I used to live in Serrano, and I used to love walking up and down the trails and everything there. I'm not really sure if you would call that a hike, but to answer your question, no, I did not. You know, they need to improve their game. That's the biggest problem with the National Basketball Association. They ignore the issue with their game, right? I mean, the game, the way it's played with the 3-point shooting and the constant arguing, the players missing games for load management, just got some issues, you know, got some issues. You know, it's excellent question. I watched episode 1 earlier today, and I'm going to watch it all this weekend. I thought it was, I only watched the first episode. I thought it was outstanding. I'm in the house because you're in the house. Thank you very much. But I thought it was very good. You know, I thought it was very good. I don't know if load management is killing the NBA. It's not helping it. I think what's really hurting the NBA are a couple of things. I think the way the game is played is hurting the NBA, where it's become a 3-point shooting game. I think the NBA going woke to a degree of nauseum has hurt the league. And I think Adam Silver is aware of that and try to make some changes in that regard. But I think all of that has hurt the NBA. I really do. You know? All right. So you say it makes zero sense for Major League Baseball and the owners to let the A's move to Vegas, where they'll make more money having an expansion team and keeping the A's in the 6th largest market. Well, first of all, the A's really aren't in the 6th largest market. Okay. They're just not. So that's a big myth. they're not really part of the Bay Area market because of their revenue from radio and TV. It's more like the 30th market, okay? I would agree with you that an expansion team does make more sense for Vegas. That's where you and I agree. But one of the largest markets, the A's, come on. No, no, not at all. I mean, just no, it's not. Factually, you know, but no, they're not. Hey, the Kings got screwed in game 6. Everyone knows that. Okay. But even with that said, you don't miss 14 free throws in a game 7 on your home floor. The NBA is definitely a distant second. Okay. You could make the argument that it's behind the NFL and college football, but I don't have the data to back that up. But they are a huge drop from the NFL in this country. It's just the way it is, you know? That's exactly what it is. They are a distant second, if you even have them second. I mean, clearly, they're ahead of baseball and they're ahead of hockey. So, they are second, but I don't know if you would put college football in there. They're not ahead of college basketball, but, we'll see. Hey, Manny, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you on that. I think it's a real problem. I just saw a couple of seconds online. I did watch an excerpt of what LeBron said. I got to tell you something about LeBron. As a basketball player, I respect the hell out of the guy. I just do. His approach and everything else. So I actually thought it was great. But as a person, I have zero respect for the man. But as a basketball player, the guy's great. I wish more athletes would have his perspective in going to work and doing their job as an athlete. I think he's great. As a player, I have a lot of respect. I know a lot of people don't. I don't understand that. A guy, for what he's doing at his age, it's remarkable. Remarkable, it is remarkable what he's doing. So there you have it. That's my opinion on LeBron James. All right. Did they announce that it'll be Tuesday and Friday nights? Obviously, you can't go head to head with Monday Night Football or Thursday Night Football, and you can't have it on Sunday. So, I guess that makes sense. Makes sense. You probably don't want to go head to head with college football. There's another example of what the NBA is doing. Can't do it. Zero chance. You got a better chance of walking on the moon this weekend. Zero chance of Major League Baseball coming to Sacramento. Zero. And I've been saying that since I moved to Sacramento in 1987, when Greg Lukenbill had the March on Baseball and started building a stadium next to the Arco. And I've been very candid with Greg about this. Had him on my podcast. I love Greg Lukenbill. I have the utmost respect for him. But there was zero, with a capital Z, chance that Major League Baseball was ever coming to Sacramento. Not happening. Not happening. So I don't even know why people continue to bring the subject up. Okay? I think this is a great message. He has handled it very well when you think about everything that he dealt with and the fame before he ever stepped onto an NBA floor. So I think you're right. I think you're spot on, Well, unfortunately, there aren't a lot of you. Cody, that's the problem. And I hate teams moving. and I know there's some that disagree with this, Cody, but the A's fans didn't do even remotely enough to keep the team. Period. They didn't support the team when the team was good. You know, I'm tired of hearing about the owner. All right. The owner, for a period of years, put a very good product on the field. Forget about payroll. Forget about, not keeping players. They were a playoff team for many years, division and wild card, and you still didn't go to the games. All right. So in this case, I can't really feel sorry for the fans. I feel sorry for the hardcore fans, and you know who I'm talking about, Cody. But as a fan base, I'm sorry. I can't feel sorry for them. I'm sorry. I can't. I feel sorry for the, I hate to say this, the 15 or 20,000 loyal fans, but I'm sorry. I don't feel sorry for the A's fans in this case. They didn't support the team when they were good. Well, if you don't support the team when it's good and they move, you have no one to blame but yourself. That's where we're at. All right. Yeah, I don't know why this keeps on coming up. All right. I really don't. And attendance wouldn't be the issue with baseball in Sacramento. You'd have huge crowds. That's not the issue. Baseball in Sacramento has always been together. In other words, Sacramento's an excellent baseball town, a lot of tradition. And fans would go to watch the A's in Sacramento or any other major league team. But it's not happening. It's too small of a market. You can't make money on radio and TV. There's not enough corporate dollars. You don't have a stadium. I mean, don't talk to me about, where the River Cats play. That's a minor league ballpark. It's not a major league ballpark. And, you can't change it from where it is now into a major league park. Okay? So it's not happening, No, not happening, plain and simple. All right, glad that you were with us right here. And I want to say thank you to New Works Plumbing for sponsoring me since day one. Plumbing needs and repairs, just go to SacServicePlumbing.com or call the number on your screen. And remember, if you have an emergency in the middle of the night, no problem. They'll be there with their 24/7 service. That's New Works Plumbing, SacServicePlumbing.com. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. Enjoy all the questions right here. Thank you very much for the 7,000. Yeah, maybe I was a little too kind, Wow. I don't respect LeBron as a person because I think he is only cares about the black community. I think his social media posts over the last several years have been irresponsible, damaging, and has divided the country and has hurt basketball as a whole. I think his hypocrisy with what he stands up for is disgraceful. Again, the incident at his school in Akron is just one example. His tweets about Daryl Morey after his Free Hong Kong tweet was despicable. His vilifying and targeting the police officer who shot and killed a 16-year-old girl in Columbus, Ohio, awful. Saying you're next. I mean, I can go on and on. I think his social media posts have been egregious, irresponsible, downright racist, if you want me to be blatantly honest with you. I think it's been horrible. And I think that he could have been and could be so much better as a galvanizing force. And it's not there. Yeah, I'm friends with a lot of people in the organization. But you know what? You got to get off the pipe dream here. You got to stop smoking whatever they're giving you. Okay, you just got to stop. All right, you got to stop. It's 2023. I've been saying this since 1987. And you know what? You're no closer now than you were in 1987. Stop it. Okay. Really. Stop with the nonsense. Please. Stop with the nonsense. Okay. You really need to stop. You just got to stop. It's not happening. I don't know how many times I need to tell you that. It's not happening. Okay. Major League Baseball is not coming to Sacramento. Stop it. Would you please? Well, I'm leaving every door open. I don't know what my future holds. I really don't. I know I won't be the announcer for the major league team that's coming to Sacramento, though. I can guarantee you that. Please hit the thumbs up. Thank you. Well, I am right. Most people with common sense know that I'm right. I mean, well, the MLS situation is completely different than MLB. MLS was coming to Sacramento. Don Garber, the commissioner, was in Sacramento for a major press conference a couple of years ago. Okay, I was there. I watched it. The governor was there. The investors were there, and the whale was there. Ron Burkle. And what happened is Ron Burkle, the whale, left the city of Sacramento standing at the altar. That's what happened. Ron Burkle basically deceived everyone in Sacramento as it pertained to MLS. And unfortunately, Ron Burkle has got a habit of doing this. Very, very successful businessman, the owner of the Pittsburgh Penguins, very successful, but has a history of backing out of commitments and deals at the very last second. And that's exactly what he did with Sacramento in the MLS. Completely let the community down. Period. It's the way it is. I mean, that's a fact. All right. It is a fact. Well, I really appreciate your support. Thank you very much. All right. I do appreciate that. I do. I appreciate everyone's support. That's why I love doing these shows. Your questions are outstanding. Okay, this is a very good question. Why did Ron Burkle do it? What was his motivation? I don't know. I don't know Ron Burkle. I would only tell you it is part of his business history. And I can tell you that as everything was going on, it's the one thing that the people close to the situation were nervous about, that his MO was doing this. But he even showed up to the press conference with Don Garber, Governor Newsom, Kevin Nagel, Darrell Steinberg. They were all there. Ron Burkle was there, sitting on the stage with everyone else. Now, he didn't speak. He was the only one that day that didn't speak, but Ron does not like the limelight. He does not enjoy that. He doesn't want to talk to the press. That's not what he's all about. Okay? So, I mean, I do think the Kings are in the conversation if Keegan Murray ends up being as good as everyone thinks he can be. Then you'll have the big three. My biggest issue with the Kings is the health of De'Aaron Fox. Now, I know last year he was healthy for most of the year, only missed a handful of games. That's what makes me nervous about Fox, about this, is the health, I don't see the WNBA coming back to Sacramento. I really don't. It's a good question. I don't know about Vegas getting an NBA team. I think Seattle will get a team before Vegas. All right. I could see that happening. I said they were finished after they lost to the Lakers. I just think that the age with Curry and Thompson, I think it's too much. And now Paul. I hate to say a team with Steph Curry is finished, but Yes, you know, Rico is not a strength and conditioning coach. That's not what Rico did. But yes, I did know Rico, and I enjoyed uh, his company. All right. I don't really put a lot into summer league, but Chet Holmgren did look good. You know, I could see Oklahoma City being a top 8 team. Clearly, absolutely. You know, absolutely. You know what? Yes, it is. It's a big difference. However, here's the biggest problem you have now with Sacramento's downtown. And correct me if I'm wrong here. It's the same thing that's going on in a lot of cities in America, particularly in California, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Sacramento. And I made this comment um, about a week or 2 weeks ago. If you live in the suburbs of Sacramento, and by suburbs, you know what I mean, Elk Grove, Folsom, Roseville, Lincoln, Rockland, Granite Bay, Davis. How often do you go to downtown Sacramento with the exception of attending an event at the arena? Do you ever tell your spouse, family member, friend, hey, you know what? Let's do something different tonight. Let's go to Sacramento and go to dinner and hang out. When's the last time you ever did that? So, we talk about hotel space to get the NBA All-Star game. If I am a person in that industry, why would I spend the money to put a 4 or 5-star hotel in downtown Sacramento? I mean, the reality is if you're not at the Capitol, who's staying at that hotel? Let's just call it the way it is. How many people do you know are going to Sacramento as a tourist destination? Nobody. Okay? You going to downtown Sacramento if it's not an event at the arena? When's the last time you went to downtown Sacramento, assuming you don't already live in Sacramento? When's the last time you decided to go to downtown Sacramento for anything other than an event at Golden One Center? Right? That's the biggest issue I see right now with the future and development and everything else. It's the way it is. I understand that Golden One Center has revitalized the area in Doco. I get that. But if there's not an event at the arena, why are you going there? Like, you don't go to Doco if there's not an event, right? I mean, if you live in the areas that I just mentioned, you can add a couple of others to them if you want. You're not going to downtown Sacramento, right? I'm sorry. Just that doesn't happen, Not happening. It's not off topic, first of all, because this is an open forum. I don't know if the Giants make the playoffs this year, but right off the top of my head, I got them going 9 wins. I got them going 9-8. I have not been to the casino in Elk Grove. I've been to the casino, Thunder Valley, Red Hawk. I have not been to the casino in Elk Grove, for anything. I didn't say they don't have great restaurants. I didn't say that. I just said for any reason, period. I didn't specify what the reason was. All right. I mean, I don't know of anyone in those areas that decides to go to downtown Sacramento, for anything if it's not an event at the arena. All right, enough of that. Let's move on to a different topic. Stop it with the A's attendance, would you please? You're delusional. You're delusional. All right? You're delusional. I don't know where you're getting your facts from. Okay? Oh my God. Wow. All right. Um, I'm not a person that really critiques the uniforms of a basketball team. I don't I don't like spend a lot of time with it. I like it. I don't like it. It's never really mattered to me other than how awful remember when they had the gold uniforms? They were hideous, terrible. They were awful. Other than that, I've never really cared about the uniforms. Yeah, there are some that I think look better than others, but you know, it's just uh Harry Giles is a great person. I love Harry. I root for Harry. I think the guy is a phenomenal person. Phenomenal. I don't know if he's going to be able to resurrect his career. I hope he does. I really do. I really do. You know? Favorite NBA city to go to was Miami or New York. New York because of Madison Square Garden and the city. Miami because it's Miami in the winter. And I didn't golf very often on the road, occasionally, not a lot, but used to love going to Miami for the NBA season and loved going to New York. That's for sure. Loved it, you know, loved it. Uh, I did not know that on WFA or on the Fan or ESPN radio in New York. I think it's a pipe dream. I don't see it happening, you know. Favorite hockey arena to go to, not in New York. Well, I used to love going to Chicago Stadium, the old Chicago Stadium, to watch the Blackhawks play. That was pretty amazing, you know, pretty amazing. Spud's 60th birthday today. Is it really? I got to send him a message. Is it really, Cody? You positive about that? Wow. I'm going to send that. I'm going to say, I think I'm going to send him a message and go, hey, Spud, I know it's been, decades, but I'm really hoping that before you die, the Cowboys get good again. Is it really Spud's birthday? Let me look this up. Spud Webb's birthday. Let's see here. I appreciate that, Cody. Yeah. Wow. I'm going to do this right now. And he's 60, huh? Wow. Man, Spud is 60. Wow, I didn't realize that. Eduardo, hola. How you doing, buddy? Love that. Thank you for everyone, you know? I have not been to Egypt. It's funny you say that. I was just with an individual last evening from Egypt. Speaking of timing, I was with a 80-year-old. This is fascinating. This is what I love about meeting people. I met an 80-year-old guy from Germany who now lives in Montreal and a guy from Egypt. All right. And the 80-year-old was telling us as a baby, and of course he doesn't remember, he was born in Berlin and was raised in Hamburg, about his mother having to take him to the bomb shelters. I was just like, wow. And he talked about when his first memories of the post-war. And he goes, I don't really like to talk about this. And I wasn't asking him questions, but the gentleman from Egypt was He goes, yeah, I don't really like talking about it, but I will tell you what that period of time was like. And I was just like, it was fascinating listening to that. But no, I have not been to Egypt, you know. Let me send Spud a message while we're doing this, you know. Let me see, Spud. Let me see here. Spud. How about that? Spud Webb is 60 years old. Does that make everyone feel old? Best line ever is I was interviewing Spud at the celebrity golf tournament, and I said, "You've been playing a lot of golf?" And he said, "From can't see to can't see." I'm like, man, that's a great line. There you have it. All right. Yeah, a lot of people go to the celebrity golf tournament. Anybody on the stream going? What do you think? What do you think? I think the Kings are, are going to have a very good season. You know, I think they're going to have a very good season. Not only was Spud fun to watch, Spud was a phenomenal human being. He is a phenomenal human being. Great, great man. Great man. You know, I'll tell you, if you want to really entertain yourself, listen to the podcast that I did with Spud Webb. You can Google Grant Napier with Spud Webb, I believe. Check it out. All right. It's one of my favorite podcasts that I've done when I had Spud on. Great. Absolutely great. All right. Any other questions you want to get in here before we wrap it up? I really like this format. Your questions are outstanding. Let me see if Spud got back to me yet. Not yet. Let's see. Well, he's not golfing. Well, you know what? He might be overseas or something. He could be golfing. The guy lives for golf. What a great. Great. This is not even close. DeMarcus is not a diva. Chris Webber was his middle name should be Diva. DeMarcus is not a diva. I would never say that about DeMarcus. He's not a diva in any way, shape, or form. He just has behavioral issues. He's not a diva. Chris is a diva. Period. All right. I gotta. Jay Will was. I'll tell you one thing. I'll never forget this. We are on the bus, his rookie season, playing the Warriors in Oakland. And we're on 80, and he's sitting right behind me. And we are driving through Berkeley with the beautiful view of the Bay Area, and it was a beautiful day, and the Golden Gate Bridge out in the distance and the Bay Bridge. And I kind of turned around and I saw him looking out the window. I said, "You ever been to San Francisco before?" He goes, "Nope. I haven't been anywhere." I go, "Come on, you played college basketball in Florida." He goes, "Nope. I'm from Bell, West Virginia. Never seen this before." And I started laughing. And he just was in awe of looking at the beauty. Another great Jay Will story. His then girlfriend, now wife, Kanika, is at the airport. I was flying to LA commercially for a game. And she was looking all exasperated and everything. I go, "You doing all right?" She goes, "Oh my God." She goes, "I'm going to kill Jason." I go, "What?" She goes, "Oh, he hasn't the power bill, didn't pay it." And they lived in Los Lagos, one of the great, most affluent areas anywhere. And I said, "Jason, how come you didn't pay the power bill?" We don't need it. We don't need to have the power. And that's how Jason was. Jason didn't really need a lot. Didn't need a lot. You know, he just, that's the way he was. That's the way he was. And I mean, I was like, wow, you're living in, a multi-million-dollar house, you know? Spud says, thanks, Cowboy Super Bowl this year, LMFAO. Oh, my God. Let me get back to him. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I'm going, you are killing me. With Dak, question mark? That ain't happening, my man. I love Spud. He is an absolute beauty. I appreciate, Cody, you letting me know that it was Spud's birthday. What a beauty he is. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, his nickname was White Chocolate, Absolutely. Man. Yeah, Los Lagos is amazing, isn't it? What a neighborhood. Wow. What a neighborhood. Incredible. All right. You all are incredible. I love doing this, man. This is a lot of fun. Taking random questions, and you never really know, where we're going next. You ask some questions and all of a sudden I'm like, wow, yeah, let me think about that. I love Jay Will. What a great guy. Jay was Jason was raw to the bone. Jason was as raw, and by raw I mean in terms of life experiences, as just as a person, was as raw as I've ever seen. I mean, he was just a guy that give him his basketball and he would be happy. His experiences in life were extremely, what word am I looking for here? Simple. He was as simple of a person as you would ever want to get to. No, simple, It's just simple. I got along with both Mike Bibby and Jason Williams very, very well. I have a lot of respect for both of them, I don't know. I don't know. The accident, we'll never know. We'll never know. But Jay Will made a lot of people basketball fans. You are absolutely right about that. You are right about that. Katie, you asked me, I got the wrong one up. You asked me about a question about Katie. Katie's great. Yeah, I was very cool with her. Absolutely. No issues with her at all. All right. If you want to get more from this site on these streams, and if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe and give me the thumbs up, hit the like button, but really hit that subscribe button. That way, whenever I do shows, you will be aware of them. And we're going to be doing wall-to-wall shows once the NBA season starts up again. So there you have it. All right. Well, Mike was a much more of a clutch player. I mean, that Mike lived for having the ball in his hand at the end of the game. Jason was going to get the ball to the right guy. Okay. Jay Will, he had some clutch in him, but he was going to make sure that the right guy had the ball at the right time. There you have it. Hey, Eduardo, hope you're doing well in Chile, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Late for you, my friend. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us. Well, they did. Mike was perfect for the team. It was a great trade. It was great. It really was, Well, right now, I think De'Aaron Fox is the best point guard in Sacramento Kings history. I'm not going back to before Sacramento. I mean, the Sacramento era history. He's the best. He's the best point guard the Kings have had. All right. I mean, just the way it is. Eduardo, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. But I'm going to let you go to sleep now because I'm wrapping up this show. Hey, thank you very much, everyone, for your participation and joining us here. You take care. Great having you on the stream right here if you don't like that. So long, everybody.